Am I the asshole? For ruining the family gathering over a joke my sister made? For some context, I and my wife, Claire, are expecting. Claire is currently 8 months pregnant, our son being expected to be born in November 2023. This isn't our first pregnancy though. Claire got pregnant 2 years ago, but the day our daughter was born, she passed away. This crushed us both mentally, especially for my wife. Well, I have a sister, Hannah, who, for better words, lacks sympathy. Our parents always try to defend her, and try to say she has a dark sense of humor, but this time, she took it too far. We were at a family gathering yesterday and it all went well, until the topic of the pregnancy came up. Everybody was asking how Claire was, and some of females like my aunts, grandmother, mom were asking about the birthing plan, when my sister says, while laughing, "Let's hope this baby isn't like the last." Talking about mine and Claire's daughter. I completely lost it. I started screaming at Hannah, telling her that was completely rude of her, and that if she ever says stuff like that again she wouldn't be able to ever even see our son. Hannah started crying while Claire was already crying. My dad took me away from my sister and I got yelled at for making Hannah cry over a joke, and I ruined the gathering. Am I the asshole? I will admit I may have been harsh while threatening to not let Hannah see my son, but this isn't the first time she made a joke like that. Not the asshole. You didn't ruin shit. Your sister did. What she said was so far out of line I can't even put it into words. The fact that anyone in your family would even attempt to defend her is disgusting. And no, what you said wasn't even remotely harsh. What she said warrants never being able to set eyes on your child. That's not a joke. That's psychotic. Not the asshole. Dark sense of humor is at one's own expense, not someone else's. Not the asshole. I have a very dark sense of humor, but this was beyond anything. Your dad is a massive R for defending your sister. WTF, she's not 5-year joke over dead nephew just before your next one is born. Seriously, WTF. Not the asshole. Your sister was way out of line. And your family are ours for defending her. I'm so sorry about your loss. Not the asshole. Unfathomably disgraceful remarks are not dark humor. Block them all. Your wife doesn't need the stress. And do not let them see the baby. None of them. No pictures either. Don't say anything. Not the asshole. That was a monstrous thing to say. I wouldn't let her anywhere near your family after this. That's not forgivable. Not the asshole. If you have a dark sense of humor, you absolutely must learn that there's a time and a place for it. Dark humor very easily becomes cruel when deployed inappropriately, and this is a clear example of that. That was just a heartless thing to say to you and your wife. Not the asshole. People need to stop giving Hannah a cop-out every time she says something without thinking. FFS, that's such a shitty thing to say. Not the asshole. It was an awful thing to say. This is exactly the kind of situation where you go North Carolina. Not the asshole because you and your wife's feelings were hurt, and that's a terrible thing to say to a couple that went through screaming. Could have been handled better, but touchy subjects bring up unexpected reactions. I'm a wrestler, want to figure out what is Hannah going through to be so desensitized to say something like that. She's definitely old enough to know better, and having a dark sense of humor isn't an excuse. Jokes are funny, so it wasn't a joke. Not the asshole. Holy crap, what did I just read? You are absolutely not the asshole. Your sis is the R. That was an extremely inappropriate thing to say to you and your wife. And your parents are an even bigger R for defending her statements, rather than explaining to her that it's wrong to make these kinds of dark jokes. Yes, you were harsh, but your reason was valid. This was a touchy subject and a very sensitive issue. Not the asshole. You did not ruin the gathering, your sister did, and your family failed to stand up for you and your wife. Your sister crossed a line with a disgusting joke. If consequences include no visits, that's her fault. She should apologize, as should your dad. Protect yourself and your wife. Do not let your family bully you into accepting your sister's sick words as a joke and her BS manipulative tears. If they can't see that she crossed a line, they should be ashamed of themselves and low or no contact may be needed. Not the asshole, but your dad and sister definitely are. She's 19, not 9, he can't be fighting her battles. It's also horrible that her behavior and jokes are being minimized when they are cruel. I'd take a step back and go LC from those two personally. They don't get to act as if it's okay to say something like that, to put that out into the universe. If they can't be supportive to you and your wife, they can be in a timeout. You didn't overact at all. Good luck, hop. Not the asshole. As a woman who is currently pregnant, infant loss and miscarriage jokes are sick. Especially when being told or said to someone who is expecting. Sister ought to have known better, as she definitely was there while you and your wife mourned the loss of your firstborn. Not the asshole. I bet she tears the wings off flies and the legs off spiders too. Cut off all their access to new baby until they understand they are assholes. I have a dark sense of humor too. I don't think that was even a joke. It just feels like a sucker punch at your wife. Also, your parents need to stop shielding their daughter. In the real world, people sometimes talk back with their fists. Not the asshole, obviously. If I were you, I would make sure she never comes near your son. She sounds like she has an agenda against your wife. Honestly, the fact that it was a joke is actually the problem. If she'd expressed an earnest wish that you and your wife not suffer the same loss, then you could argue that she'd expressed herself poorly. But she didn't. She treated the loss of your child as the subject for a joke. Of course you reacted the way you did. Not the asshole. Hannah is coming across as a legit psycho. Please keep Claire away from her and your parents that are enabling Hannah. Your wife and son and you need you all to be in a better mental space. Good luck with the baby. Not the asshole, of course. Not the asshole. I am so tired of people saying absolutely disgusting things and passing it off as dark sense of humor. Your sister has serious problems. That's a lack of empathy that borders on sociopathic. You're the asshole if you let Hannah see your son. I know all kids stop believing in Santa and the Tooth Fairy eventually, but I can't help but think that with Hannah as an aunt, those childhood moments of wonder and innocence will dry up really fast. Come on, even Wednesday Addams wouldn't crack a joke like that. Not the asshole. A dark sense of humor isn't an excuse to be incredibly cruel to others. She was absolutely out of line with what she said, and you had every right to be furious about it. Not the asshole. And your dad is not fair, your parents are not fair. This is sick and twisted. And why is she crying? She makes such a thoughtful, cruel comment that is not a joke. However, I wonder if you are able to respond more calmly. Cuss it often sucks that people don't listen when emotions are high. But she's in the wrong and your fam is wrong. That is utter cruelty, not a joke. How anyone in your family can and do defend it as such is appalling. I'm so sorry for the loss of your child and the gross insensitivity of your family. Your reaction is completely understandable. Not the asshole. Op, they defended that. If, in complete seriousness, if that was my spouse and my sister said that, and my parents defended her, it would be total NC with all of them. None of them would meet my child, they would have zero contact. If she has always been this way and they haven't put her ass in therapy, no way would she ever get a chance to say something evil to my child. I just could not ever be around her or those who continue to coddle her evil thoughts and comments. Op, I wish you and your wife the best with your little bub, and send out blessing for the three of you. My dad took me away from my sister and I got yelled at for making Hannah cry over a joke and I ruined the gathering. Your parents are not safe people to be around your child. They have no issue with Hannah's joke. They thought it was okay to say. Think about that. Think about what that really means. How did your mother react? How did all of the other guests react? You are not the asshole, but you should consider going low contact or no contact with your immediate family. Keep in touch with extended family depending on how they reacted.